In Indian economy, we are going to discuss about micro and macroeconomics. Okay, so here the entire economy is divided into two types. Okay, so micro and macro. So what is micro and what is macro? So first of all, we know about micro only. But whenever there is a Great Depression from 1929 to 1939, so it started in US and it spreaded through so many countries. Okay, it spreaded worldwide. Okay, so whenever there is a Great Depression, so it was a bad experience in the US. Okay, so the worst economic downturn in the US history. Okay, so in that time the industrial production was decreased and unemployment was increased. In the same way, poverty also increased in USA, and it started to spread it to all the countries in the world. Okay, so in that time there was a emergency to create another economics that is known as macroeconomics. Okay, so the father of macroeconomics is J.M. Keynes. Okay, John Maynard Keynes. Okay, so he introduced the macroeconomics to work out and to came from the depression and to came from the bad economics which is going in the society or in the countries. Okay, so he created the macroeconomics after publication of his seminal work, The General Theory of Employment, Interest and Money in 1936. Okay, so for example, macroeconomics deals about the economy. Micro also deals about the economy, but there is a small difference. Okay, so basically micro and macro terms are Greek words. Okay, so the meaning of the micro and macro are small and big. Okay, so here micro means small, macro means big. Okay, it means after Great Depression, J.M. Keynes came with the new idea that is known as macroeconomics. Okay, so that is big economics. Okay, so for example, micro means just bottom to top approach. Okay, so it can analyze bottom to up. It means it tries to understand the choices which consumers make and the income they can earn. Okay, so it means it can save only one consumer or two consumers within the micro. Okay, so whenever comes to the macro, it tries to understand the dynamics of the inflation, growth, development, interdependent. It means there are so many terms which are included in the macro. Okay, whenever comes to the micro, so it is very small. Okay, so it means only small things and only the consumer can make and the income can earn. Okay, it means only understanding about the consumers very small thing. Okay, whenever comes to the macro, so it is a big idea and it can understand the dynamics of the inflation, growth, development. Okay, so there are so many things which are included in the macro. Okay, so within the words also we can understand what it is. Okay, micro means only the small thing it can express. Okay, whenever comes to the macro, so it can express a wide way. Okay. Okay, so I'll show one example. So this is the first image, this is only single tree, right? So here we can compare microeconomics as a single tree. Okay, it means a single person or individual. Okay, that's it. It means what he is doing and how he is earning money. That's it. It means because micro very small idea and small thing. Okay, so in the same way there is another example which shows about the macroeconomics. Okay, once you see this picture, so this picture is a forest, right? So it means there are so many trees. Okay, so that is known as macroeconomics. Okay, so knowing about a single tree, that is known as microeconomics. Knowing about forest means forest included so many trees, so many plants. Okay, it means to know about the trees which are in the forest is known as macroeconomics. Okay, so this was the great idea which came from the J.M. Keynes after a Great Depression in USA. Okay. Okay, even though they are different as per the meanings they are different. Micro means small and macro means big. Okay, so whenever comes to the interdependence, okay, so they are very interdependent in nature. Okay, and they are different but they are interdependent and they are complementary, since there are so many overlapping issues between the micro and macro, but there is a interdependence between the micro and macro. Okay, so for example, if if a rise in the inflation means the rising prices of the products. Okay, so that is a macro effect. Previously we have also discussed about inflation, growth, development, which are included in the micro economics only. Okay, this is not related to the micro. Okay, so it means that great terms or great things only included in the macro. Okay, so for example, any ups in the inflation, any higher percentage in the inflation rate, so will cause a rise in the cost of the raw materials also. Okay, because the prices of the products are increasing, it means the cost of the raw materials also increases. Okay, so in that time the consumers are buying the products. Okay, so the effect will be on the consumers also. So now only we discussed about the consumer is included in the micro. Yes or no? Because consumers only the single person which is included in the micro. We can study about this consumers in microeconomics, not in the macro. Macro means the overall economy. Okay, so it means whenever there is a change in the macroeconomics, there is also a changes in the microeconomics. Okay, because consumers only will pay for the products. Okay, if any change in the inflation, it means that is macro. So in the same way there are some changes will be occurred in the microeconomics also. Okay, so because there is a interdependence between micro and macro. Okay. Okay, so micro and macro completed. Next, econometrics. Okay, so this is the third core area of economics. Okay, after micro and macro, so this is the third core and it means third important area which is included in the economics. Okay, so because the importance of the econometrics is it seeks to apply the statistical and mathematical methods to economic analysis. Basically, economy or economics is based on the mathematical methods. Okay, so all are the numerics. So the it means, for example, inflation is increased by the 3% or inflation is decreased by the 2%, deflation increased by the 2%. Okay, so the GDP growth rate is so and so percentage. It means we are saying the all the information in the mathematical language, right? It means a statistical language. So to for the economic analysis we using mathematical methods, right? So on the basis of the mathematical and statistical analysis we used the econometrics. Okay, so the sophisticated analysis of micro and macro, it means subfields, would not have possible without the major advances made in econometrics. Okay, so it means whenever the days are increasing, whenever the days are changing, so there is a sophisticated analysis. Okay, so it means after years of years we will use another important sophisticated analysis to economic analysis, right? It means there may be a chance to create major advances in econometrics also. Okay, so whenever we are developing, whenever the economy is developing, there are some mathematical and statistical changes also occur in the econometrics. Okay, so it means econometrics is also very important. Okay, so total in economics, micro, macro and econometrics are very important. Okay.